you're actually you can actually run movies out or film off of it and pictures.
You bet, you bet.
Wow.
So tell me, what do you think about Israel?
Israel.
Do you still think that thunderstorms over in Israel are going to cause disasters here?
Yeah, we don't take care of Israel. If we turn our backs on Israel, we're going to get the storms.
So how much money?
God's wrath will take over.
Right now, we're giving them $3 billion a year. Do you think we ought to go to 6 or 9? Or
$3 billion is chump change.
So what are you thinking?
$3 billion is nothing in this day of it.
Well, yeah. So how much? Where do you think we ought to put it?
I mean, our budget has been reduced by 24% more than what they thought it was going to be.
Does it bother you at all that they're one of the most socialist nations in the world?
Israel?
Yeah, and that we subsidize their form of government, socialism, which kind of goes in the face of our beliefs.
Yeah, but socialism, doesn't that like support the people? I mean, like it pays for everybody that's out of work.
Oh yeah, nobody has to work there.
So
everybody gets health stuff. We pretty much give them money, $13,000 a year for every man, woman, and child in Israel.
In Israel?
Yep, from the United States of America.
I wonder they like us. That's why they like us.
Exactly.
Is that all?
So do you have to buy most of your friends, Rick?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess my Jewish
What do you
friends.
think? What do you think? You think we ought to make it 90,000 a year?
Is that why the Arabs are mad? Is that why all these Islamic fascists are mad?
That would be part of it.
We don't give them any money? We don't buy, they're buying their oil's not enough, huh?
Yeah, it could possibly be the troop station in Saudi Arabia within close proximity to Mecca.
You don't think they like the trickle down there? They don't like us there because we will have
the welfare system.
When they torture and kill all their people and starve them, they don't want anybody to see that.
Are you talking about the Are you talking about the secular government of Saddam Hussein, or what government are you talking about?
So how many people do you think they would kill if we were to leave?
So what government are you talking about?
I'm talking about why should we?
Which country?
If we left the Middle East, what would happen?
Well, which country in the Middle East are you talking about?
Did you see how Afghanistan, how those people were
Rick,
living?
are you afraid of this question?
Are you listening to me?
Are you afraid Are you afraid to answer my question? What country are you talking about?
I am talking about the whole Middle East itself.
Well, okay, name one country that would fall into your whole Middle East.
Okay, well, Iraq, Iran.
Okay, Iraq was a secular government before we invaded.
They were.
Yes, they were non-religious. Yes, they had a brutal dictator, but they were not a Muslim country.
Who believed that what's his name, Nebuchadnezzar? Remember Nebuchadnezzar? Well, Saddam Hussein thought he was the reincarnation of Nebuchadnezzar. That's what
Saddam Hussein had a lot of crazy thoughts, but he was not a religious man.
He was not secular.
He was secular. You're not going to find anybody that's going to say that Saddam Hussein was a religious government. Well, he was an absolute dictator.
But he was an Islamic wannabe.
No.
Yes.
No, he was.
Yes.
Based on what?
Because that's what he wanted to be Nebuchadnezzar, the reincarnation Nebuchadnezzar who took.
Like many dictators, absolute dictators, they have grandiose ideas about themselves. Napoleon thought he was a great guy too, but trying to say that that's part of the Muslim religion or that he was participating in that.
But why was he torturing and killing all his people?
To stay in power.
To stay in power, right.
To stay in power.
Yeah, right.
Why else would you, I mean, Stalin was a secular man. He killed 40 million people.
Okay,
the reason he killed 40 million people was to stay in power.
Then why did he go over and try to, what was that?
Kuwait?
Kuwait, yeah, to take over.
For oil?
For oil. He moved
that was not religious, though.
He wasn't going to, and after he went into Kuwait, was that going to be enough?
You could make religious arguments, but Saddam Hussein was a secular dictator. He was a horrible man, but it was not part of the larger Islamic problem, if that's what you would consider it. He's separate from that.
Oh, you don't think he had anything to do with the
Saddam was in it for Saddam.
Funding terrorism at all?
They've actually had some evidence that Saddam considered Al-Qaeda a threat because he was secular and not a Muslim.
And then
were there terrorists operating in Iraq? Yes, there were.
Rick, you can't argue with a liberal.
I know the liberals, they don't understand.
They do the liberal two-step.
They don't realize that what will happen if these guys take over. We'll be living like them.
I'm not suggesting them. What I'm saying is it's not a historical fact that Saddam is Islamic.
And
say-
what about WMD? You don't believe there was WMD?
The Bush administration has said that they don't have evidence of weapons of mass destruction.
Must be doing the conservative two-step over there.
No.
Oh, I mean, Rick, Bush said there was, then he said the intelligence was bad, and now the official statement is that they've not found weapons of mass destruction.
All those trucks headed for Syria. You deny all of them.
If they've got the evidence, I think that they would.
Saddam's laundry? You think they're just moving Saddam's
I think they
laundry
should have
over
brought
to
weapons of mass destruction with them.
Yeah.
They embarrassed the United States. I think they should have found any way to make that true.
And they have found WMD.
Where? The Bush administration has not said that.
They found mustard gas.
So you're saying that the Bush administration is hiding?
They found thousands of...
So you're saying that the Bush administration is hiding material facts from the U.S. people?
No, I think the liberal media
The liberal
is.
media is. Yes.
George Bush has press conferences and goes on the record as saying that. Condoleezza Rice goes on the record as saying.
If they found one WMD over there,
wrong.
that proves the Democrats are all wrong about not saying WMD is over there.
Well, right now,
They found
both
over
the Democrats and
they found
Republicans are both
thousands
saying that there's not evidence of weapons of mass destruction, right?
That's because they suppress it. They suppress. The liberal press suppresses that information.
And they get Bush not to say anything about it when they're suppressing it?
They're the ones that come out and call Bush a liar.
No, Bush goes to a press conference and Bush out of his own mouth is saying that we don't have evidence of weapons of mass destruction. Do they get Bush to lie?
Hey, Rick, don't argue with him.
Well, hey, he's brainwashed. He's brainwashed, man. I don't know how he could even think anything wrong with the U.S.
When you're anti-American,
I know he's anti-American. I suppose you like Hugo Chavez.
don't argue
And
with him.
Fidel Castro.
Rick,
You like how
Rick.
they live.
Rick,
Huh?
you're falling into his trap.
The logic trap.
He's falling in